Hello friends, come over to how are you? Then today that I hope to discuss that how to organize an English activity room. It is much important for the English teachers to do their language learning properly. Then there are that so many things that we happen to think that before we organize such a learning room. In your school, that sometimes in your class, there should be a proper management, and the collection of resources should be there most appropriately to the learning and teaching content. For example, there are so many activity rooms then that they have organized just keeping different type of posters, banners, then sometimes the computers and different things that they collect. But they practice totally different things there. Totally different things means before that we get the certain facilities for an activity room, then learning and teaching content, that first that we will have to pay attention much about the learning and teaching content. They are in which age group that you have collected to teach, and then the available resources in your school, that's also much important. Otherwise that you spend so much to do something, but finally that you don't have the expected result. Therefore, just collecting the banners, posters, the different things that you paste on the wall, and just that you teach the different things, or otherwise that the students they will speak in English, but the teacher also speak in Sinhala, but around him there are so many English posters and the banners can be seen. But I mentioned there are some activity rooms all over the island. Here we must pay attention in which age group that we want to handle, especially for the primary purpose, the primary age groups, the primary students, that we have to identify their needs. Their needs means which that how can we start to give knowledge to them. What are the materials that we need according to their age group? But it is totally different comparing with the secondary or advanced level students. Then thoroughly that we must use the certain materials related to the primary students. They are also first step we must understand their syllabus and the learning and teaching content. Referring to their learning and teaching content that we can find materials. Otherwise, then the students visit all those language rooms and they can't understand anything. Afterwards, that they hesitate to visit such sort of places because that they can't understand very well. Therefore, first that you can get the help of the textbook, the certain competency levels and the expected capacity. Referring to all those things that we collect the certain materials which are helpful for the knowledge of the students. In such a collection of things day by day that you can collect economizingly, but teacher need not to spend much and excessively, that they need not to get the phenomena of the technology also. That's also useless, because that if you also can't use that some materials, first that you will have to practice and get the aptitudeness how to manipulate them. If you use a computer, the teacher should have the literacy of the computer. Otherwise, just for the demonstration, it is of no use to keep in an activity room. There are also, according to that your knowledge, your experience and the ability of the students, that we collect the certain materials. Sometimes there should be colorful posters, then the game pack, cards, the certain resources which are helpful to do the group works and the pair works, and sometimes the certain whiteboard markers. All the things, all other things are much important for the activity room. The meanwhile, those days that we still that I can remember while we were in our schools, that our English teachers, that they are very capable singers. The nowadays the most of the gentlemen they can't sing. They can't sing. The only a few of the gentlemen can sing English songs. They are, why can't you use the YouTube songs? or sometimes in the British Council, all those primary songs can be available, and with the help of your phone, or sometimes then the certain any other equipments, you can record them into a pen, and with the help of the recorder in your PC computer, that you can play them. You can play them, and then that you make the way to listen all those songs and ask the students to play or sing the song with the recorder. That's also a very good point to break the monotony of your lesson. And the teacher also should not be in the same manner in that language room, that he or she should walk out that while they are teaching in the language room, that you get the students into group and you should manage their works. Otherwise they will start to sleep, or sometimes that they will chat with the freedom that they just do the different absurd things. Therefore, the teacher should be very creative in such sort of a place. They should speak the targeted language. If you want to improve the English, frequently the teacher must speak in English with the students. Otherwise, that they can't practice. That sometimes the teachers that they start at the very first conversation in Sinhala, and the students also join to speak in Sinhala throughout the period. Then in an activity room they spend speaking the mother language. But there the teacher must be cautious to speak the targeted language. The targeted language is much helpful to practice throughout the period. Then if it is a spoken classroom, there should be materials to improve their speaking ability, not for the writing ability. The simultaneously that you improve the both things, then separately that you can collect all those materials, and together that you can display in that activity room. It is your personal attitude. And however, when we organize such sort of an activity room, or that we build up such a place, we must not follow or imitate any other schools or any other resource rooms. Because first that you think what kind of things that you give to your students, and which age groups that you call or otherwise you teach, and the needs of your students, and according to all those requirements that you make that your activity room, it is much attractive. But if it is not going to improve the knowledge of the students, what will happen? Therefore, known to unknown, that you find the path known to unknown. The things which are demonstrated or fixed in your activity room should be known things. The majority must be the known things, and afterwards that you can slowly bring them to the unknown things. That if you can use a computer in your language room, that's also highly important, because use of the PowerPoint presentations, otherwise the certain apps that you can install there, very easily you can give the proper training for the students, especially for the speaking, even for the writing also. And meanwhile the listening approach can be done very well. Today the typical classroom should be brought to the global classroom, the global requirements. If any teacher that when they teach through the Zoom, in some foreign countries that they teach all the day through the Zoom, in such a situation that if we can make, there should be make a variation in the typical learning process, that will be highly important from your language room. From your language room that you can do a Zoom discussion to the outside, that's also highly important, because students and their parents, they highly delight to see such sort of differences in our education. Because 7:30 to 1:30 that we can see a certain tired teacher standing opposite the blackboard, sometimes the whiteboard or the green board, and continuously that they give their lectures, and students also that listen with full of monotony. Then that situation should be changed in many ways, that we can see in an appreciable way all those situations have been changed little by little. That must be a commendable step made by present educationists. We should be thankful to them. And then referring to the learning and teaching content, that we can organize our language for the activity room. Otherwise, that it will be just a demonstration without any meaning. Most of the activity room that I could see, they have organized well, and it has brought something to the outside, and even the visitors also can see so many things because all those teachers could understand their content, content of learning and teaching. Then referring to the learning and teaching content, they have organized everything very well. Just pasting the common things, the name of the fruit, sometimes the numbers, otherwise good morning, good evening, all those things just that you use referring to their age levels. And the thing you will have to think, deliberately think the level of the students and what they expect throughout the learning process. For the advanced level students, that you need not to fix their good morning and good evening. Sometimes it is that must be a very sarcastical way that when we demonstrate such sort of things everywhere. Then according to their level, that we should find the certain poems, any other proverbs, and the grammar also. There should be an improvement. Otherwise, the same way, if you get the certain activity room which was used for the primary students, even for the O-level and A-level students also, in Sri Lanka it will be much absurd, because that we think there are requirements of learning and teaching methods and the content, and they're referring to all those things, that we can organize our language rooms very well, colorfully, that you economizingly, that we can get the certain materials, and at the entrance also, just that you can use a certain motto or any other proverb to highlight and just to express that your vision or the mission, that we can start like this. Afterwards, inside the little by little, this situation or the environment must be deep. Otherwise, at the very beginning, that if you start with the certain jargons, there are also any other English teachers also that they dislike to visit such sort of places. Then start at the very beginning and end with the sound meaning. That is my viewpoint related to the activity rooms. I think everywhere that it is the time to build up activity rooms to improve the speaking ability and the writing ability, as well as the listening. With the help of the English activity room, the classroom monotonous teaching is not going to fulfill all those things. Therefore, this is the time to change your typical methods and to refurbish, taking new techniques and new things. And I wish you best and a bientôt.